Hi, this is Drew Tignanelli. This is our July, the great month,
The great month. A very special birthday for Drew and the United States.
and the United States. So it's the month of July, and we've got a couple really good videos and articles coming up. What are they, Mikey?
Yes, Mr. Alec Sunners has a great video coming out. Five irreversible federal employee mistakes. Up here in the state of Maryland, we've got lots of federal employees. And as a result, our firm knows quite a bit about the federal employee benefits and systems. So Alec is gonna do a video on that. Then we've got a good article coming out as well. Justin Linthicum, our head of our tax department, he's got an article about four people that came to us and what we found. So one of the great things about working with a firm like ours is we work with a lot of clients and we get to learn from all of those things that we have come from before clients are with us, as well as things we learn from experiencing them alongside clients as life events happen. So we got
Yeah.
those two pieces coming out.
Yeah. And the markets have continued to do reasonable. There have been a little pause lately, and you're going into the summer doldrums right now anyway, Mike. So markets have heavy valuation, have valuations from lots of different metrics are quite high. So I wouldn't be surprised if during the summer doldrums, the period between late May and end of September tends to be some of the worst period of time historically for markets. So with the market valuations, I wouldn't be surprised to see a pause in the market for this period of time. But that's why you keep diversified, Mike, because I'm talking large cap US stocks. I'm not talking
Right.
every stock market in the world is going to do that. I'm just saying US large cap stocks are on high metric values right now.
Yeah. Yeah. You might see things differently through the small caps as well as the internationals.
They could perform well while large caps take a pause. It's not unusual. So anyway, the bond market is getting some reprieve from lower oil prices. I'm sure a lot of Americans feel somewhat of a reprieve from lower oil prices. Uh, will they be able to get gasoline prices down again? We'll see. I expect it.
Sure.
But I don't think it'll come quickly, though. I
Yeah.
think it'll be like you always see, rocket ship up, but a very slow, gradual decline.
Well, and everybody's got to appreciate we shoot these videos 4 or 5 days before they come out, and who knows how many days after that people will see this, and that situation is still unfolding.
That is very much so. Anyway, what's going on in inflation?
So inflation, we're hoping that we start to see it moderating again. For the past month, the month of May, it did get up to 4.2%, which is up from 3.8%, largely driven by those energy prices and things like that. But we're hoping as things progress, we start to see it moderating. And we've had a new Fed chair, and the new Fed chair has had enough time to hold first meetings and show us a little bit about what we might expect, which is at least for the time being, Kevin Warsh is not lowering rates for the time being.
He
Uh,
doesn't have the right to do that anyway, Mike. He's got to get the
get the
majority to
chairs.
roll.
Yep,
Right. That's a
absolutely.
lot of people. What is that? I think that's eight people you have to have a majority of eight. So the one person has a lot of sway, but they can't just unilaterally get rates down.
Yep, absolutely. But we do know that, that's been a big push is to have lower rates and, maybe as other things start to work themselves out, we'll see that in the hopeful near future.
Yeah, I think that the economy could use lower rates. Despite the inflation numbers you're seeing, I think that it could use lower short-term rates. I think it would be a good thing for the economy.
There's a
Eh,
lot of pent up transaction demand in the economy. There's a lot of home buying and other types of asset buying that, a drop in interest rates would probably inspire a bunch of purchases and transactions. So
Yeah, AI is going to be expensive. You're going to have to fund it. We're going to need the capital to do it. Lower interest rates would allow that to happen. So
yeah,
allow it to happen faster. Let's put it that way.
Well, we talked about, Drew, that it's the month of July, and July has a lot of exciting things. The 250th anniversary of the country. I won't go into the number of the anniversary of Drew Tignanelli, but a few months ago we talked a topic in our planning section about the Trump accounts, and we said that we would come back to that in July, and here we are.
Yeah, so we have to understand that we have a lot of clients that are very legacy minded and they want to pass money down to children and grandchildren. So, our clients that have that goal and objective, you now have three options to do it. So, let's talk about those three. We'll start with the Trump account. The Trump account is for somebody who has long-term goals for their grandchildren and children. They're looking more at their children and grandchildren's retirement themselves. So we're talking 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years possibly, depending on
And
how
we're
old your
talking about kids that are under 18 at the moment, at the time of whenever you're going to do something.
when you set up a Trump account, the child has to be under 18. We're going to get into the specifics of the Trump account, but they have to be under 18 to set one up. That's a long-term tool, okay? The 529 plan is for the parent that has a specific goal, it's education, the maximum amount of education. Those accounts can be set up at any age for any child or any person, even for yourself, even somebody of my extended age could set up a
Extended anniversary.
529. It can set up a 529. But the only benefit of it is if your goal is education. Now, there is a provision that you can get 35,000 out to a Roth IRA. So that's a little nice little outlet that you have in case you don't spend it all on education. But let's just say the 529 is for education. If you don't have that education goal, then it's not an appropriate tool. So, Trump account, long-term 529 college. The last one's the uniform transfer to minors account. It's basically an account that you just put in there for your children and grandchildren when they're minors, so under 18 years of age again. And the money is held in that account until they're 21 in most circumstances. Let's just say 21. And the money can be used anytime for anything without any problem, but there's very little tax benefit to a 520 to a uniform transfer to minors account. So you have to be very strategic as to how you invest that UTMA uniform transfer to minors. The benefit of that though is you can use it for anything. You want to buy them a bicycle, boom. You want to buy a car, you want to send them to college. You want to give them a down payment on a house when they're older. You
Start a
know,
business.
the what's that?
Start a business. Buy tools for a trade.
Use it to plan for your wedding or a honeymoon or whatever. The UTMA account is totally flexible, but it comes with the least amount of tax benefits. Now, let's talk about how you set up a Trump account because for any child born from January 1, 2025 up until now, they get $1,000. And this is the first time that you can get that $1,000 in that account. But let's go through the procedure. You got to go online is the preferred way, trumpaccounts.com.
Gov.
Trumpaccounts.com.
Gov.
I'm sorry, you're right. Thank you.
No problem.
Trumpaccounts.gov, and you got to fill out the 4547. That's the name of the form, 4547. And it basically just says, who are you? And the one that has to fill it out should be the parent or the legal guardian of the child. So if you're the legal guardian of the child, you should be the one that's doing that form. Grandparents can do it, but it takes a little more effort to do that.
And only
Once
one person can set it up.
only one person, and that's why I say predominantly it's the legal guardian. Now, once it's set up, Mike, then it says to take your cell phone and they want to verify your identity. And it'll send you a link and in like a week or two. It's not like instantaneous, like a
Yep.
week or two later. Once you get that app, you verify your identity. Once you verify your identity, then they automatically set up an account with BNY Mellon or potentially Robinhood. Okay. And that's where your money's deposited into. Okay. Now, you can leave that money there, but maybe you say, I'd rather it be with all my other accounts over at Schwab or over at Fidelity or wherever you do your brokerage. You can then set up a Trump account over at that other institution and transfer the one that they automatically set up for you into the new one, and then you can deposit new money into the new one. Now
Yeah.
here's an interesting thing, Mike. If they set up a BNY Mellon or a Robinhood account for you and you don't transfer it to your Schwab or Fidelity or something, you can't just deposit money into a new Trump account. You can only have one Trump account at one custodian. And so if it's still at Robinhood or BNY, that's where you're going to have to deposit your money. You can only invest in an index fund, and there's only a handful of index funds you're allowed to use. They have to be extremely low cost index funds, and that's where they stay. And you cannot take a nickel out of that account until they turn 18. Once they turn 18, then you can take the money out, but you have to pay on it as if you're dispersing from an IRA any of the growth and interest and dividend, not the contributions, but the growth, interest, and dividends. You have to pay taxes on it, ordinary income tax rates. Now, if you have a really good accountant, Mike, you can get it out of there probably tax free and convert it to a Roth IRA. That's what you want to do. You want to roll it over and convert it to a Roth IRA. That's the strategy. And anybody who has grandchildren or children that they want to do a long-term thing for, the Trump account is a new excellent tool to do that with. Not
Sure.
everybody has that kind of liquidity, though.
Yeah, and again, you've got to set up your values and say, hey, is this long-term goal what we're worried about first, or do we need to fund other things before that? But just a couple qualifiers. So when you file the form 4547, weeks later, you're going to look at it should come to an email with a link to download the app or to do the activation. So it will come in the form of an email. One of the other things to know is that the money coming out, just like Drew said, is taxable, just like if it was money coming out of an IRA. Uh, between age 18 and 59, is it 59 and a half or 59? I can't remember which.
59 and a half.
59 and a half, just like an IRA. You can take out money for education or for a first-time home purchase and just pay the ordinary taxes. If you take out money for any other purpose in that time, there's a 10% penalty. And then that 10% penalty goes away and it's just like an IRA at 59 and a half. So
Yeah,
again,
but
really
Mikey, if you
convert
do it
it.
right and you convert to a Roth tax free with good tax planning, now you can take the whole thing out tax free. If even if you're using it for education, not the whole thing, but you could take out certain amounts for education and first time home buying and all that kind of stuff tax free. And that's really what you need to do. You don't want to be holding on to a Trump account for 20, 30, 40 years when you retire. You need to get it
When
to
they
a
retire,
Roth IRA. What's that?
when they retire, when the beneficiary, the grandchild
Yeah,
is
you
covered.
don't want to be still holding the traditional Trump account, which is tax deferred. The whole purpose to a Trump account to make it powerful is to convert it to Roth when they're 18, 19, 20, 21, before their income starts to balloon.
Right.
But
Absolutely.
you have to be careful because that ordinary income, if they're in college, is still subject to the kiddie tax, which means that it's taxable at the parent's tax rate. That's why you have to do it strategically.
Which is why, if you want to learn more about this, you should call your advisor at the financial consulate.
Somebody who relishes the fact of getting that out of their
We
tax free.
do. We do.
We're finished, Mike.
We are.
I think
Happy
that's what you're
birthday,
trying to
sir.
tell me. 69, Mike, this year.
Six,
69.
69 versus 250. Pretty good.
Yeah, I'm winning still. Anyway,
Absolutely.
Mr. Tignanelli saying God bless.